Yeah, your favorite Tara Little Bacon Bear hanging out with somebody who's got a wilder name than me. You're the only one that probably got a wilder name than me at this point.
You can say something like that, but I just do what I do. I do
So
what I do.
MKXYZ, tell me what's the origin of that first?
So my name is Michaela. That's my government. It's on my
Okay.
birth certificate. If you need the receipts. But the XYZ part of it represents the part of myself that I couldn't define. It's like an extension of myself. But it's all inclusive as well. But really, it's just taking all those experiences that I had as a woman of color, as a queer person growing up in the South, and not really wanting to abide to anybody's expectations, any social constructs, and that just wasn't for me. I didn't want to be boxed into anything, and I felt like what was empowering was going through those experiences. And whenever I evolved and stepped into my adulthood, I definitely felt like my brand and who I am is the XYZ.
So not like MK, etc. MKXYZ.
MKXYZ. Because sometimes like you be having conversations, you be like, what's that? I don't even know what it is, but
The
it
yada
sounds like
yada,
XYZ.
X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
And the fill
facts,
in the
facts.
blank. Well, so
Exactly.
growing up in the South, you're from, I want to say Florida, right?
Florida, Duval
I don't
County.
know if you don't sound Florida. You don't give me Florida vibe. I always feel like people from Florida are nuts. First off, they
No, we
nuts.
low key, bro, low key. I feel like Florida is definitely it has its ratchet. It has the ratchetivity going on.
Ratchetivity. Okay.
Ratchetivity, occasional ratchetivity. I think that Florida. It's weird though because everybody growing up will be like, Florida's not really southern. It's like a,
It's
it's
the
like a gay.
furthest south as possible. What do you mean?
Exactly, but like Floridians, I don't know. Like it's so different. It's like California in the South. That's how I feel sometimes.
I can see that. I think that even people that are from Miami versus Orlando and then Tallahassee, all of these places are all just like very diverse. And I think sometimes we only catch a glimpse of what we end up seeing, what's in the headlines of a local Florida man did or a local
Exactly.
Floridian did. It's like y'all be having
He's
some
not
shit
about to
going on
take.
down there.
He not about to. Whoever he, she, they, whoever it is, they not finna take responsibility for who I am. They ain't finna do that.
Not the whole
I gotta.
Florida. We can't just put all Florida in the same bucket.
No, you can't put Miami. I'm glad you brought that up. Miami's on a whole nother. That's just a little island, to be honest with you. Like Miami is a vibe though. I love Miami. Like I could see myself chilling, retirement Miami vibe.
I only ever went to Miami like under the age of like 18, I want to say. So like I've never really experienced Miami going to the Brickell Man or where the Brickell penthouses or in like being on the beach. What I don't shit, I don't even know. I just watch y'all Instagram be in
Glenwood,
Florida. Okay, damn.
let me tell you, you gotta go to the art district, definitely.
It's worth seeing.
It's fire. It's fire. But wait, you're from what
PG.
state?
PG County and Kansas. I meet in the middle to be both of them. But I
That's
live in
why you're
America.
so fresh. I literally everybody that I've ever followed or met that's from PG, they the flyest. They the flyest
They
people.
don't
Like
call it Pretty Girl County for nothing.
I I
That's where we're from. But I will say I'll take this moment to also say that this isn't the first time that I've encountered you or been on a call with you, but this is the first time that we've ever gotten a chance to interview. But there is something to be said about emerging artists and artists that are young that are willing talent. Like being willing is half the goddamn battle. And I'm still muscling through the point in my career where I still come across artists that are not willing to do what they need to do in an interview. They're not comfortable. They're not willing. They're not willing to talk. They ain't willing to sit down. Not
really
willing to entertain. Just not willing. But thus far, you have been nothing but willing.
yeah, it's crazy. I get that a lot. Like so far doing so many new interviews, which is a new experience for me. Like hella people just be like, you're an interesting person to talk to. And I'll be like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's partly because it's literally my life. Like, it's not like, oh, like, I'm just going to say this because, like, nah, like, the shit that I be saying it's really my experience. Like, I have some crazy stories. And I feel like as I progress in my career, like, people are going to be like, what? You said what? You did what? Nigga, who? But
Well, now you maybe want to ask, like, you got a wild story you could think of immediately to tell me. Tell me something crazy, MK. Tell me something crazy.
Let me see, man. Like the craziest stories. Bruh, like, let me think.
Okay, how about this? Tell me one of your earliest music memories that are crazy thus far. Being in this realm, being on this side of things.
The craziest memory for me, I think it's more of an honorable memory. Like, it's more like, what? Like, really? Oh, okay. I do have a crazy story.
Yo.
I do have a crazy story. My first time at a Grammy party.
Ooh.
All right. So literally it felt like everything, at least for me, everything was like moving slow because I was in school before I decided to sign, whatever.
Okay.
But I remember my manager, Tricky, he took me to my first Grammy party. It was Larry, he's over Apple Music, Larry Jackson.
Okay.
I think it was Larry Jackson. His Grammy party, and Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats was hosting the party. It was like maybe a year ago now at this point. So that was my first one. Everybody was in there. Like, so I'm from the South. I ain't never seen that. Like, and a lot of people from the East Coast, right? A lot of people from the East Coast, and like, unless you're like in the heart of New York or whatever, or you're in those specific places where you're gonna see things popping, you don't really see a lot of that. You just don't. Like, you know, people will flex. Like, you have like siblings who will find people that, oh, they flex and whatever, but you don't really see the glitz, the glam, and just that energy. So nonetheless, at the party, meeting everybody. Janelle Monáe is there, Alicia Keys is there, like Ryan Destiny, my celebrity crush, is there. Right, looking right. She was
yes,
looking right.
I got to interview her, and I almost wanted to cast my eyes down because it's like.
But anyway, so literally, I'm like walking. It's dark as hell. It's dark, and I'm walking through, and I'm like trying to get. So this is before I see Janelle Monáe, and I'm like, it's not Janelle Monáe. Like, I gotta get over there. And she's over there, and she's like in this nice. You know how she be rocking the capes and stuff. She be coming in all grand. So
and her aura follows like that. Everybody around her knows it's her too. So you just be like, if I could just get over there, I will.
Like, cause she got that energy. She got that divine energy. So I'm
you
like,
can't just walk up on her.
You can't. So but the thing is, I'm going to walk on her. So I see her, and I'm like, all right, I'm about to walk over to you. As I'm walking over to her, like it felt like it was slow mo. She was literally like a couple feet away. Yeah. But I'm like walking over, and I trip over somebody's foot. And out of all the people,
that's so mean.
It's Quincy Jones. It's the Quincy Jones. I literally trip over his foot. Like, hopefully he doesn't remember. I'm pretty sure everybody was teed up, so they probably don't remember. But anyways, I have a picture from that night. It's on my archives, but I got to send you this, but that I took afterwards. But I literally was like, I didn't even know at first. So like, I just tripped, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. But as I'm like, I was like, Quincy. Hey. I literally, he was like, sit down for a second. And I was like, okay. And
I will.
He was just like, I'm gonna sit down. And I was like, I'm sorry. And he was just like, you know, like, what's your sign? And then I was just like, 2 other people have ever asked me this in the first time I met them. One was Pharrell, the other was Chris Brown. Literally, he was like, what's your sign? I said, well, you know, I'm a Taurus. And he was like,
you're a Taurus? We'll talk. We'll get there. Are
you Taurus?
No, I'm not a Taurus. I hate Taurus men. I hate Taurus men.
Very different from women. Very different.
Completely.
But literally, he was just like, yeah, your energy. He was like, just, you know what? He was just like, you know, talking about me being a star and like just working hard or whatever. But then he hands me this card. He was like, I want you to call me whenever you feel like it. You know, like he just kind of like fast forward extended himself to me. You know what I'm saying? And the only other person who's done that before, actually, no, like every other, like, to me, legends that I've met, they've done that instantly. It was like instant connection, instant like, yo, she's something. And that's really, that's special, right? And I was just like, man, that's wild. I'm sorry about your foot though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because
that's me. That's me as fuck. Like I'm totally good for tripping over some shit, saying something wrong, and just be like, my bad. I'm sorry. You know, a matter of fact, I did that at the BET Awards one time. I had to pee like 3 different times, and I had to step over Andre 3000. And I really just hope he don't ever remember me for that. But like, I know he was getting like, man, oh man, this girl got to. I'm like, sorry. If I could just excuse me. You
That's why
know,
they
but
took
it just be those awkward ass moments. You just hope that they don't remember you for that. But you know, it can make for a good moment in your case, like Quincy.
I mean, because he like I said, it's been a lot of, for me though, at least it's been a lot of those moments where I just happened to be like, it was divine timing, literally. Like the
Yeah.
universe was like, I set this up, so trip, bitch. Like,
Bitch, fall.
like
Fall into your destiny.
fall into your destiny. You will be catched, caught.
Damn.
Okay,
That's a hell. I mean, so I mean that says something about maybe your artistry and where you'll end up, you know, because if you're coming across, like you said, the Pharrells, the Quincy Jones of the world, the Chris Browns of the world, and they're receiving this energy and it's like saying something to them, that says something.
yeah, like it's always been like that though. Literally, it's been like moments where I'm like, it's literally the moments where I'm like, am I supposed to be here? Do I belong in this?
Mm-hmm.
And literally within seconds, minutes, whatever, it's just like a slap in the face of like, yes, you are.
That
You
was
know,
a
because
confirmation.
it's a confirmation. And honestly, I manifested this since I was a small sap. So
Well,
like,
tell me how you manifest things. You know, people always are like, "Oh, I manifest this, I manifest that." But what do you think that you put in place in your life? Like, what kind of parameters do you put in place in your life to manifest these types of things? Because everybody wants to manifest tripping over their next destiny, tripping over their next bag. You know?
oh, aren't you loud? Aren't you loud? Somebody's room. Okay, but
Vroom.
literally, I just think so. Like, I've been dancing and singing forever, but I just feel like there was so much focus and so much belief. And literally, like, I've curated this space, not even knowingly. Like, it was so subconscious and it was like almost like working. But really, I think it's the gift. The gift manifested itself. And then until I was able to pinpoint that that really was my purpose, my passion was my purpose, and that I could truly fulfill that, then it was like that whole changing of thought and reprogramming my mind is what was the catalyst to me getting to these places. Because a lot of the times people be like, oh, I want to sing, I want to dance, I want to rap, like, I'm next, I'm up and
Yeah,
up.
but what did you do to put that in place?
Yes, but then also I feel like there is longevity, and then there is people who just, you know, hit a lick and that's it. But I
Yeah.
feel like people who have longevity, it's been curated for forever, more than you, like, in the moments that you didn't even think that this shit was literally coming together, it was in the works. It was already, your ancestors said, hey, like, we need you to fulfill this, because what you're going to do is going to speak volumes more than you realize. That whatever your impact was going to be, it's going to be bigger than that. You can't limit yourself, and you can't be afraid. And a lot of this is me being fearless, because like there's moments like people would never realize, as good as, like, everybody's like, wow, you're such a great performer, you're a great dancer, whatever, blase. But people wouldn't realize I used to be terrified. I mean,
Are
like
you
I was
shy?
still good. No, absolutely not. I'm not shy at all. I'm very extrovert. Like,
So
literally,
not shy, but what is the terrified part then?
I think it's because I'm someone who likes to hit the mark every time. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even like, I don't even want to call it perfectionist, because I'll still be in the moment of performing and be like, you get what you get. I'm gonna try my best though.
For
But
sure.
like,
That's
it's
all you
not like,
can do.
exactly, like, if I step into that energy and in that space and I'm giving my best in that moment, why should I be upset with myself? So I don't even think it's perfectionism. I just feel like but every time I give something to someone and it's from my heart and my soul and I'm pouring it into it, like, you always want to make sure that you're hitting the spots that you intended to. So for me, it's like I'm trying to give my best, but at the same time, it's like hints and sprinkles of perfection in there, like, that want to
Yeah.
come out.
I guess you could call that like striving for perfection. I mean, I don't think any of us can be perfect, but nobody wants to have a dumb moment. Nobody wants to have a bad performance or have a bad song or just a bad day, just in general. But you
That,
know, I think even especially like with this COVID era, we've all had to shift and pivot in a way that we did not expect. You know, even as you're saying that everything is uplifting, of course there are days when things are less than uplifting. What do you do to keep yourself in a better headspace, and what do you do to bring yourself back to the excellence that is XYZ, you know?
yes, definitely. I have to shift perspective very quick. I have to remove myself literally from the energy that I'm in. Like, for me, I'm all about energy. I say that word probably more than any word a day, because it's really important for me to do mental check-ins. And I feel like that starts with your energy, because for me, like, I am the vessel, but really I'm spirit. So for me, literally I'll be like, if I feel myself going to a place where I'm like, I might be doubtful, or I might be fearful, or I might be feeling anxious, whatever the case may be, that doesn't really suit me in times where I need it. Like I have to literally think about, um, and I wouldn't even say blessings because that's an understatement, but I have to think about where I am and how much how far I've come and how that hasn't stopped me. Like there's literally moments where I was like, am I gonna make it? Like just like living because like just like, and I really, always go back to my coming out days and years. Coming
I was
out
gonna
years.
say, did it just happen in a week, or is this like a long?
Nah, like just the process of that really, really showed me like, oh, there's nothing that someone can say that can make you feel invalidated or worthless because of the fact that you literally just went through so much. So for me, it's like just making sure that I shift my mindset and get up. Sometimes like I've had a lot of friends that struggle with depression. I've struggled with depression in the past, and there's moments now where I'll tell them, I'm like, whenever you even feel like an inkling of yourself feeling empty or like, why am I here? Literally, why do I do this? Get up, leave the house, go to the park, take a walk, get out of that space. But I'm like, don't run from that. Don't dismiss your feelings and your emotions. You have to feel them in order to make progress and growth, you
Yeah.
know, elevate to your highest self. But at the same time, like, don't stay in that, because there was moments where I'd be trapped in my room, like trapped in this. And like, even during COVID, there's still
Yeah.
ways to
Yeah.
adapt. Like you can still adapt. You can still find ways to bring that creativity and really, really pull it out and find ways to cope or deal with things or express things.
Well, running back a little bit to your story of coming out, not everybody's is a positive experience that they even get through. You know what I mean? Some people will tip on out the closet and then take their ass back into the closet. You know what I mean? Because they may not be ready with open arms. So, like, when you were ready to come out, how old were you? And, like, what was that experience like? Was everybody receptive in your family? Did your family already know? What was that like?
So I came out when I was 14.
Okay.
So so to put that in perspective, I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
Um, and this was in North Carolina at the time,
Oh, wow.
uh, specifically a smaller city that it was like right near Charlotte. So I went
Ah,
to, yeah, so it
that could
was
be a
really
weird
small.
spot.
It's Bible Belt is still Bible Belt vibes. My parents ultimately overall are pretty accepting. There were moments in the beginning where it was like, but I always imagine having this and this and this, because they're so programmed to the tradition of life.
Yeah.
Whereas I always believe in creating my own traditions, which has gotten me to this place where I'm like, I don't want to use that language. I don't want to use this. This is what everybody else wants to do. Like, it's
Okay.
not even necessarily about being different or being unique. It's like, how do I take everything that people have, you know, been accustomed to, and then say, how do I have a mind for my own? How do I think on my own?
That's part of coming into
Eventually,
your adulthood, right? Just in
exactly.
general.
You said what?
And so that's part of coming into your adulthood, like shedding off the skin of tradition and shedding off the perception of sometimes your family members, even your parents, to create your own traditions and create your own destiny. You know what I mean? That could be a skin shedding type thing.
Exactly. Well, yeah, but even the idea of people having like women having a biological clock, and it's like, oh, you gotta hold your wedding like this. So it still goes back. It still seeps into adulthood, because then it's like, okay, when you get a man and how marriage is supposed to look, and this is what marriage looks like, and for marriage to be legitimate, this is, all these different things.
Mhm.
So like with me coming out, like my mom, especially it was tough at the beginning because she has to learn the same way I have to learn this new this new thing that is hard to navigate, like as a kid. Like, I'm a young teen, but it's still my feelings, it's still my emotions. And like no one else, there was nothing for me to learn from. They don't have LGBT sex ed in schools.
Nah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hide the salami. Okay, that's what it is. Like, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't on that vibe. So there was, and I didn't have any older siblings or family members that went through it to give me any advice. So it was just literally like me figuring it out, and it was just a lot. Like a lot of girls just put me through hell. Like, and it wasn't because they intended to. It's literally like
They were
when
learning
you're
themselves
going
too.
exactly, well, some of them, but they just put me through that space. But so now, like, being an adult, it's very much like I just feel like as an artist and as somebody who has such a great influence, there's a lot of young people that have reached out to me on social media before I got signed. They were like, man, if it wasn't for you, I would have like off myself. Like I would have just committed suicide because I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to deal with myself and them not feeling it. And even when I went to college, a lot of my friends were like, I can't go back home. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like I will literally not survive. Like, and I literally just found ways to be supportive and to help them navigate the best way they can. Because there was still a level of privilege that I had to acknowledge. And it was the fact that my parents were never the type of parents that would be like, I'm disowning you. So
Yeah.
there was a level of privilege that I had to acknowledge when I'm relating to other queer people, because
Yeah.
some of them don't get that. Some of them kicked out the streets and they have to go into sex work. They have to go into different things. I didn't
For
have to do
sure.
that.
Absolutely. And I mean, on top of that, like you said, being 14 and then now being an adult, you're probably what, 10 years removed from that experience. Like you have a running head start in a sense, you know what I mean? When some of these people are just now coming into their truth at 20, 21, 22, 25, 30, 40, you know what I mean? There are people that are
Right.
just experiencing this at different points in their life that, it's kind of a blessing that you realize this about yourself at age 14. So it makes you then more of a vessel. You come from a standpoint. You now have experience under your belt so that you can pass those on to younger people or just people who are in similar scenarios and are just looking for the guidance. And that's truly a blessing in its own right,
Yeah, I have
So
to. I
in
have
the
to.
vein of college, did you leave college like completely to do music, or are you still kind of like doing the Megan Thee Stallion thing in the middle type vibe?
I took a complete break.
Okay.
So I left the end of my sophomore and junior. It's literally muddy now, but it's one of those. It's one of those. Okay, so either way, it was halfway.
Yeah.
But I had got my first degree, my first associate's degree by the time I was 17 in high
Oh,
school.
damn.
Graduated with a college degree. And then like I graduated 4.0. Then I went on to
Damn.
UNCG for biology and chemistry. And I was planning to be a doctor. Like I was planning to study medicine, practice
Wow.
medicine, do research for same-sex reproduction. That was my thing. Like I was like super big on like growing up, I was
Damn.
I want to have a baby with my future wife. So what's good? And I was just like, but no one wants to talk about this, but I want to. And whatever I decide to, like, if I can find funding or whatever, I wanted to be in this. So that was my thing. But my whole life, I've always was in the arts. Never played sports a day in my life. Everybody's like, you look like you hoop. You look like you play soccer or something like
I
that.
played
So
soccer. I wasn't awesome, but I played.
you, I'm about to say, you look like you play sports. I was
Do
gonna say
I? No,
probably
I'm not sport. I'm
basketball.
not sport. No, I'm not sporty, but I will play some soccer just to burn some energy type vibe. You know.
But yeah, I never did any of that. I was always in like musicals and plays
Yeah.
and chorus and all that and painting, fine arts. That was my thing. So I knew I was artsy all the time. So but the thing is, when I got in middle school, I just really excelled in science. So then when I got to high school, that was my focus point, and I knew that me being a first generation student, I was like, I know this is what I want to do. I got scholarships for being a lesbian, being a woman, literally a woman of color who wants to study medicine.
I tell people this: the scholarships is out there. You gotta get on Fast Web.
What? Yes, Fast Web,
Good shout
annoying.
outs to
Fast
Fast
Web.
Web.
Fast Web really got it. Like I couldn't even get a work study, so I had to literally just find all these scholarships. But went to school, and then I literally, the moment I stepped foot, August 7th. It was August 7th. I literally had 9,000 followers on Instagram. And the only reason why I was on Instagram is because, like Facebook, like I just wanted to socialize. I wanted to be posted up,
Yeah.
posting my pics, whatever, looking fly in my fit, whatever. Hey, new back to school vibes. And within like a few months, it went from 9 to like 60, 75K. Then within another couple months, By the end of my freshman year, I had 110,000 followers. But by the end of the first year, I literally had got the attention of Meg, got the attention of Kaylani. I did a SZA cover. That thing went viral. Like I just had so much stuff going viral. And I was like not trying to do it to go viral. Because at the time, there wasn't really influencers.
There wasn't a realm for this yet. You were just a blazing girl on the Jordans probably, you know what I mean, on the gram.
Trying to live my best life. But I noticed that, okay, I have scholarships, but I also can like be using Instagram. Like I can be using Instagram. But it wasn't for music though. Like to clarify, because like I never went on Instagram to just build the music, because like I said, it wasn't my focus. I wasn't trying to be a singer or an entertainer. I was just on there just to be there. But like I also had people that were like, hey, you're like how people do it now on TikTok. They'll be like, yo, I got a song that just dropped. Like, why don't you you dance to it? And I'll like, you know, so I made Instagram a profit, but I never was thinking about music. I still would be occasionally throwing up singing videos, dance videos, like freestyles, like, because I was never trained or anything. And it just kept getting viral until my sophomore year, where I met Tricky, my manager. Okay. And he was like, yo, come to Atlanta, let's link up, let's do some records and let's vibe out. Like, you're so talented. And then when I got there, did the songs, buzz. And then from there, I literally got signed to Epic.
Damn. You know, it's almost divine that you're saying this. I just hopped off watching our homie that I know, her Miss Faith. She's also Blasian, and people in the comments like, man, followers ain't this and followers ain't that, and doesn't matter this, doesn't matter that. But you got to realize that followers are supporters, and those are things that are usable metrics. Like, these are usable things. Like, entities care about this. I'm sure that when Tricky discovered you and was dealing with you, he was like, okay, well, she's already got a presence. She knows what she's doing. She has a fan base that connects with her, a fan base that is willing to follow her. And these things all then come together to meet in the middle to make for stardom. You know what I mean? Having that foundation is super important, but it is all based on who you authentically were already ready to be. It didn't have to be remolded and reshaped. And that's the thing, you know, I don't shame artists that need that remolding of sorts, but you know, that's commendable, you know, to turn your followers into something and to turn your fan base and your supporters into something and have them follow you along in this journey into the next step, which is in this case MKXYZ.
Absolutely.
So that's fire. That's fire. Obviously, I think that a lot of our introduction to you now is at this point as pass it, you know. We got the GEZ. I'm hearing it on the radio. I'm playing it in the mix. We're playing it up here. It's something that's getting its traction. So when you're hearing yourself on the radio, what is that like for you this time around?
Man, I don't think it's really like sunk in. Like it's because I feel like, and you know, you being at radio, it's like, this is just, you do it so much.
I'll be tripped out even hearing myself talk on that joint. It's like, what the fuck?
Really?
Yeah, hell, I have a portable radio. I don't know where it's at, but I got a portable radio. I'll be like, damn, that's my voice. Oh, that's me? Oh.
I literally have moments where like I just see so many people all over the country and other countries, internationally. It's just crazy to see all the dance videos and stuff like that. Like I'm just like, I don't know how to explain it. I think what's really going to hit for me, because I was performing before I released music. So I think what's really going to hit is when I hear the audience like singing the lyrics. I think that's when it's going to hit, because for me, I'm like, I knew this was going to come. I knew that there's more work to do. So for some reason, my body won't celebrate it to the fullest, but like I knew it was already in the works. There's going to be so much more that changes, you know, with 2020 being the mark for a lot of different changes and a lot of different movements. Like, but I was like, I can't celebrate right now. Like I can't, like, but
yes, you can. You can like junior celebrate. You could take a shot, but then you could like take 5 more shots like after the performance type shit, you know? Like you can celebrate this small win, but like there's bigger ones too.
I don't even drink.
You don't drink?
I don't. Well, wine like every 3-4 months, but I don't really drink. Listen, college has taught me a lot.
That's okay. College builds character. It builds your liver too. Shit. I mean, like my recovery time from drinking is just really, really slow. Like I just become useless. Like I'm fine, but I'm useless. Like literally useless for like the rest of the day, the rest of the hour. rest of the night, honestly.
Like,
I'm
don't ask
small.
me for nothing.
I'm small. I'm good for throwing up. Like you might have to carry me out type shit. So like knowing
Hilarious.
that about myself, like I don't be trying to keep up tit for tat. Like I can't keep up with y'all, but I'll try. I try. I got heart, you know.
Got heart.
I got heart. So that's half the battle. Of course, Pass It is not just a single song, and this is the last time that we'll hear from you. Like, what are you doing, obviously, in the vein of a project? And are you still, oh, y'all removed my time limit on Zoom? That's great. Thank you. Thanks for the gift from
Hey,
Zoom. Wow, Zoom, I didn't know y'all had that shit.
they got time limit. They will cut your ass
Yeah, but
off.
apparently they said that they gave me a gift of a longer Zoom. Damn, I don't know what you mean. I didn't even know that was an option, but thanks. In the of course, Pass It is not just an independent thing, and this is not where you stop. What kind of project are you working on, or what are you trying to mold right now?
Okay, so right now I've been doing a lot of virtual shows. Like I'm on tour virtually. But
Oh
in the meanwhile, I am gearing up for this it's a Lil Baby release. Me and Lil Baby collab on
damn.
this song. I know. I wasn't playing with nobody. Like I'm still not playing.
Will you
I'm
play
not
it for me though? Not here. You could play it for, but you gotta play it for me.
you gotta hear it, definitely. Okay, bet. But yeah, so definitely that's about to be soon. And then by the top of the year, hopefully my album Sweet Spot should be dropping.
Sweet
'Cause
spot. What's the sweet spot?
Sweet Spot, the sweet spot is me. You know,
If I
like
was gonna say I could guess what the sweet spot might be, but you tell me what the sweet spot is.
yeah, I mean it could be nasty, but nah, the sweet spot is definitely just the what I bring to the table and all that is in terms of like it being so dualistic. It's so like androgynous, but it's masculine, but it's feminine. It's just right in the middle. And a lot of the visuals, the visuals and just lyrically, you're going to get a lot of that. Like it's just you're getting a taste of both, and it's so like seamless, like just super like the perfect balance of alpha omega for sure.
Great.
Because that, I mean, that's
No, go ahead. Go.
but definitely I just feel like a lot of people are always I feel like more people are going to be curious about the XYZ. So Pass It was definitely like the introduction for that because a lot of people are like, okay, like, oh, now I see. Like you can watch the video and be like, oh, okay, got you. Got you. She gonna let me, yep, got
This,
you.
this is a new thing for me that I'm still kind of like working through. But what are your pronouns? Like I don't want to. I'll be like, oh, she said or he said. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be getting that wrong. But what are your pronouns?
That's a great way to ask too. She, her, hers. But honestly, it can be rolling because I definitely have this gender fluidity.
Yeah,
But it's she, her, hers. Like you can she, her, they, daddies. It's pronoun.
she's
Daddy's
a
a pronoun.
daddy.
So
Daddy's a pronoun.
definitely pronoun. So she, her, hers, daddy. Those are all my pronouns. Like for sure.
I just gotta ask, because like I said, I think that a lot of people are trying to figure out, just like with LGBTQ conversation just shifting and people just being new to these ideas. It's like sometimes you mess up. You mess up calling somebody a he when it's a she, or it's a they, or it's a them. You know what I mean? Just trying to nail down these things for people. Just like you just don't want to make sure you don't want to fuck it up and offend anybody. So she, her.
I think you gotta be. I feel like in the queer world, I feel like there is a level of forgiveness, but at the same time, there is the unexcusable. Like, okay, now you just being petty at this point, and you just trying to be funny style.
You trying to be hateful.
Exactly. But I think that by asking first, you don't have that gray area. So a lot of times, like I've educated a lot of guys that are ignorant to these things, and they'll
Man,
be
are
like, "Yo,
they?
so but the thing is, I appreciate at least you come to me first and you're asking, or you might stumble. I could tell that you're trying to figure out what to say.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll be like, okay, well, this is, and I don't take offense to it because the way to have patience when you're educating somebody, you know what I mean? Like you got to have that patience. You can't just be like, all right, you don't get it, whatever, bruh, because
Yeah.
then you've been compromised. But for me, I feel like me even educating my grandma will be like, the first time, like this is way, way when Caitlyn Jenner first became Caitlyn Jenner, and she was just like, well, can you explain this to me? And I'm like, well, there's trans people, and that's not the same as sexuality. Gender and sexuality are very different. So just
And then
going
their
into
head be spinning because they're like, it
You
like
really
trying
gotta
to
break it
explain,
down.
break it down. It's like they be just getting lost in the sauce sometimes.
Nah, but I love the fact that people ask. Like that's another reason why I'm like I was never going to come into this and not be my most authentic self. Like
Yeah,
y'all
facts.
niggas gonna know. Y'all gonna know because right now I think with what's going on, especially with everything that I've been watching within the last 24, 48 hours, like you can't be silent and afraid. And that's just my thing. Like you can't be silent and
I
afraid.
almost don't want to talk about the last 24 hours. I really just don't, because it puts such a disdain in my life as in my world, in my day, as a woman of color and as a woman in this industry, as a woman, a female DJ in a male dominated space. It is just tough watching men and people that every single day stand on this hill and die on that dumbass hill. Like, climb up on that high horse and die on that dumbass hill. And I'm like, I'm sure y'all already know what the hell going on. So I don't need to fill in the blanks. I don't need to do no names, nothing. But it's like you gotta pick the right side of history to be on with these things. You know what I mean? And there are women, there are artists, these are femme forward people that are taking heed to these things, and we're taking this on the chin. Like, I'm reading your tweets, and I'm like, now I know how you feel about women. Now I know how
Exactly.
you feel about us.
You don't have to say it directly. We see it. We see it in the energy.
I
And
live it.
I can't support that, you know what I mean? And I just feel like I said though, it now is the point where you can't come into this having some sort of platform or some sort of voice for people and then be on some dumb shit. Like you can't come in here being silent, you can't come in here being scared because we've already had a lot of that
Yeah.
quietness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh-uh. Can't.
So it's like if you love the female artists, or you love women, you know what I mean, and make this an inviting space for people that don't look like you, that ain't the same gender as you, just the marginalized, just in general. Like, use this time to stand for something, because you look dumb as shit. Like, straight up, you just look dumb, and you're offending people every single day. Just with a retweet with dumb shit. So. Enough of that. I do want to talk about your quest to be a Disney princess. I see like you're really trying to manifest this Disney princess shit.
They need to understand. They need to run my coin. They need to run me my coin. My listen, I love it because my powerful fem moments, people be getting what I be saying. I be like, look,
Yeah.
I'm on some princess shit. I'm not coming to play. Like music is definitely my home and my passion. But once I step into film, don't play with me. Like give me my coin.
Do you want
But
to
no,
be like a newly developed princess, or do you want to be Mulan?
well, see, the thing is, I started off by saying, you know what, Mulan should have been played by me because look at this bun, look at this, look at this, look at this.
I
Okay,
almost want to
but
pull up
then
your
I was
Instagram and
like,
just be like, I see it, y'all.
but but then I was like, yo, no, what we need is because we have Tiana, which was the start. She the only
I don't
black
know
prince.
if I don't even know. Hot take. I
They
don't
didn't
know if
make
that
her.
we could have did better. Why does she got it?
We
Why does
could
it
have
got to
did
be the
better.
princess and the frog? We could have. Why can't we have a real
But
true
that's what
Disney?
I'm saying.
You
They
know what I mean?
started there. They started there. They needed
Yeah.
to like she should have like that's the thing. Everybody else was already, on some princess vibes. They did extra for her. They put her in like all these gowns and da 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 blase blase, but it was like to the end. To the end for Princess and the Frog. So I think that we definitely need more black princesses. We need international, okay? We need more
Yeah.
international you know what I'm saying? I need me a Filipino princess. I need me an Indian princess. I
Shoot.
need me a Cuban, Puerto Rican, like Moricua, like we need, you know what I'm saying? We need all of that. We need all of that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like at Disney next time.
Now
I need
you're absolutely you're right. You're right on it, because the next generation has to see these figures. You know what I mean? Like, why is the only they don't have no black ass princesses in Lion King, but that Lion King is like all niggas. Like, it feel like all niggas is in this movie. Like if it's just, but why is that the only thing that we got? Why I need more black ass Disney movies for me.
and
That's
they were
just
animals. They were still animals though. That's my thing. Like
why. But why? Like, it is not. I feel like it's intentional. I love it, but I don't need that. We need real rounded figures. We need respectable figures, and maybe like MK the Princess gonna be the next one that we see.
yo, like the closest thing that I felt that looked like me that actually made me feel like wow was Moana. That's it.
I can see
Moana,
that.
I was like, wow, she kind of, but she is, I think, supposed to be Samoan, or she's supposed to be
I don't want to
Pacific
say
Island,
Hawaiian, but like, what
something
do they
like
call
that.
that? Pacific Islander.
Yeah, yeah, Pacific Islander. But I mean, like we just, like I said, I feel like they know it's coming.
Well,
They
I
like
mean, I'm excited to see if you will actually nail that down because thus far you've hit all the marks that you wanted to hit, and you're all about your manifestations. So you putting it out there, so it should come back.
oh,
So, in 2020, is there anything that you would pass on to the DMV? Anything that they need to be on the lookout from? Where can they find you on social media? Where can they stand you and be your friend?
where can they
Cause
stand
she
me?
follows back, y'all. She be following back if y'all don't know.
I actually do follow back. I do follow back. I
Sometimes.
follow the energy I support for sure. But definitely, everybody can follow me on all socials. It's MKXYZ, ITS, MKXYZ. Uh, that's it. Like, I don't have like 7 different handles.
That's it.
But definitely everybody go stream past it, support your local radio station, and also look for the album Sweet Spot coming out.
Sweet spot. At the top of the year, maybe, but Lil Baby and your collab is coming next, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited.
Definitely, because
And when
that
it goes, it's the one.
that it goes, man. It goes.
I'm gonna
It goes.
trust you on it. I'm gonna trust you.
I trust me, so I know you're gonna trust it. I know you're gonna trust it.
So thank you, XYZ.
Hey, little bacon bear. I have to see the MySpace screenshots.
I gotta get him.
I
I
gotta
gotta get him to you. I gotta get him to you.